Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today, your show of shows. On today's show, we have Jacob Vance, Laureta Chislom, and Ann Howard Hill. You're going to want to watch this. If you don't, we're coming to your house.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
And we have the wonderful Miss Laureta Chislom here today. Now, you are our lifelong learning coordinator here at Meridian Community College. And as we were talking before we started filming, you've been here 3 years now, going on 3 years.
Yes, sir.
And you have a wealth of experience from other agencies that you have worked with before.
Yes.
But now we are able to take advantage of all of that experience here at MCC. And I'm so glad that we're able to do that. But you are here in particular to talk about something that's coming up.
Yes, sir. I'm here to talk about our adult education registration classes.
Okay.
We are ending our school this year, but we have 2 more opportunities for persons in the community to participate in our adult education registration.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 2 dates that are left. We have this Friday, which is April the 16th, and we have next Friday, which is April 23rd, where we'll have our open session for registration that begins at 9.
Okay, so they have to come there at the Young Center at 9?
Yes, sir. And we ask that they come at least 15 minutes early because we like to get a little registration process done and make sure they're where they need to be at 9 o'clock.
What do they need to bring with them?
Okay, so they need to bring an ID.
Okay.
Probably
Valid ID.
Valid ID. They need to bring a pencil or pen, and when they come, be able to stay at least 3 hours.
Okay.
Because we do some pre-testing to find out where they are and where we need to put them to be able to help them get the skills to be able to pass their high school equivalency.
Okay, and I think that's very important because we don't just, what you do is you go through, they have to go through a battery of tests to determine what level they're at.
Yes.
And that's where you start them.
That's where we start them.
Okay.
We meet them where they are.
Now, the way the high school equivalency works now, there are different sections of it, right? You have different sections that they take, so they don't have to take it all at one time, do they?
Correct, and you just brought about a valid point.
Okay.
I've talked to Ms. Whitlock, who is the Director of Adult Education, and she wants me to stress that we have a lot of students in our community that have completed most of all their sections and have 1 or 2 sections of the GED or the high set they haven't completed.
Okay.
And we are reaching out.
Not? Why not complete it? If you just have one little section left, why not finish it up?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we are looking for those type of students because we want to make sure that they get what they need so they possibly can become one of our academic or our career technical education students here at MCC.
That is wonderful. And you know, nowadays, you really need a high school equivalency or your high school diploma. You truly do. For it opens up so many doors for you. And we want our students to have as many opportunities as they possibly can.
Correct.
And this is one way for them to do it. Now, I want to talk about cost for the high school equivalency. How much does it typically cost a student? If they want to come and study with us, what is the cost for them?
It is absolutely free.
We like that.
And when we have students that participate and are serious about doing what they're supposed to be doing, we actually pay for them to take the test.
Excellent.
And I got one more thing I need to mention.
Okay.
We have our My Best program.
Okay.
This is a program that's been here for a while. And what it is, it's a program that allows a student to do 2 different paths.
Okay.
So they will be on a path with working on getting their high school equivalency and also being able to get into college to get in one of our academic programs or our CTE programs. We have select programs that they can enter in, but this is a way that a person can, make strides toward their goal and reach those goals possibly at the same time.
So what they'll do is they come in, and not only are they taking classes for their high school equivalency, they are actually in a particular program so they can end up getting both.
Yes.
And end up after a year or however
two.
long the program takes, they end up with a high school equivalency and an AA degree perhaps.
Correct, and I wanted to mention what those programs
Okay.
are.
What can they sign up for?
So we have, I'm not going to go down the whole list, but I'm
Sure.
going to give you some. We have 3D CAD, business management, commercial truck driving, culinary arts, basic electricity, basic plumbing. We have HVAC, we have healthcare assistant, welding and cutting, and software coding technology. But there are more programs than that. But these are opportunities that are available, and we are looking for serious set of students that are serious.
So if they come in, you say that you're open this Friday or next Friday to
Yes, sir.
register. Do you also offer them, and say, okay, we've got the My Best program?
We give them information about My Best.
So they can also find out about that
Yes,
if
sir.
they're
Yes,
in
sir.
there.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think, and I know the answer to this, but why do you think it's so important for us for students to get their high school equivalency?
I think it's important, first of all, to be in a setting where there are services that you need, because we have some students that have needs that might have allowed them not to get their high school equivalency. We can tap into those resources. And also having that high school equivalency, like you said, it opens so many doors. And when you're here with other professionals that know about some career and technical programs that are available and have the resources that we have, I believe you will really have a great experience and be able to use what you got from getting your high school equivalency.
And I'm just going to say, I'm going to give a shout out because I have had family members go through this program, the high school equivalency, get it. You have some wonderful tutors over there. You have some wonderful teachers over there. And they start them out and work with them and worked with different schedules. I think at the time they had like a morning session and an afternoon or evening session.
Correct.
And it really helped them a lot. So, I mean, I can definitely talk from experience. And one thing that I've noticed in my 50 million years of life, that like my mother, she had a 10th grade education.
Yes.
And, she was able to get a job and provide for her family, because that was how it was at the time.
Right.
Nowadays, there are some companies, some places, they won't even look at you unless you've got a high school diploma or the equivalency.
They sure won't.
I mean, you're just completely off the list. And so when I talk about opening doors, it truly does open a lot of doors for you because they won't even look at you.
Well, it's just like not having a key. We need to go out this door right here. If you don't have that key, that lock is not going to turn. We on this side. So it's our job to be able to help you get your key made to be able to exit that door that we just talked about.
There you go. And all of the jobs that you talked about, all of the programs that you talked about, these are programs where they're going to make a good bit of money out of them, because let's face it, a lot of times you don't have your high school equivalency, and as we were just saying, the job opportunities are not that good. The pay is not going to be that wonderful.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, because that's the bottom line with what we're doing. And I still stress this all the time. Yes, I wanted an education and I wanted to do this, but the bottom line is I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to have a decent life.
Exactly.
That's what you want. And this program, whether you get your high school equivalency or whether they're in the My Best.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I want to give the number to
please.
to where they can call and get more information if they need it. The number is going to be 601-484-8796.
Okay, so that's this coming Friday?
Yes, sir.
And next Friday?
Correct.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to get you on again and talk about this some more, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we have Mr. Jacob Vance here today. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate being on.
Now, you are a freshman
Yes, sir.
here at Meridian Community College, and you are here from which high school?
West Lauderdale.
From West Lauderdale.
Yes, sir.
And you are also in our honors program here
That's
at MCC. But the main reason I asked you on the show today was because you have won a few awards with our literary review magazine, The Apocalypse.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Maeda, who is in charge of that magazine, recommended for you to come on and let's talk about some of the things that you won. Now, you won 3 awards?
Yes, sir.
What were they?
I won first place in research, like the research essay portion, the fiction portion, and also the poem portion.
Okay. And why, just out of curiosity, why did you decide to submit material?
Well, last year, actually, Mr. Maeda, I entered the contest last year, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoy writing in my spare time. It really allows me to express myself and everything. And I had Mr. Maeda the first semester of this year, and he encouraged me to take part in it again because he had remembered my essay from last year.
Okay.
And that really pushed me to do it, and I enjoyed doing it.
Now, have you always been a writer?
I've always enjoyed writing. I wouldn't consider myself a writer, but I do enjoy it.
Do you prefer writing poetry, short story, nonfiction?
I really like nonfiction because it really allows me to learn things on a much deeper level. Like this past review I wrote on Joe Rogan, if you've heard of him, and I really enjoyed that because I learned a lot more about him.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Now, one of the things we asked you to do is to read your award-winning poem.
Yes, sir.
So, would you like to do that now?
Yes, sir, I can do that.
Okay.
So the theme for this literary review was quarantine and the pandemic and everything. So this one's more of a quarantine-esque poem.
Okay.
And the title of the poem is Be Still My Heart, and here it is. Losing track of the days, remembering times of the past, learning in a new way of isolated haze, simply trying to outlast. Searching for new outlets of joy, forgetting to bring your mask, being ashamed of your odd decoy, absolutely dreading to even ask. One day there will be a new uplifting excitement, reuniting those who had been apart. Once more a rebirth of alignment, be still my heart.
Very good. Thank you. Now, is this your first time being published?
You can call it that, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what brought you to Meridian Community College?
Well, you know, I grew up in Collinsville, so I've always been familiar with the campus and the community and everything. And also the teachers and advisors really brought me to it. They're caring about their students and everything. They really helped me throughout my decision making.
What do you plan to study?
Right now I'm majoring in civil engineering, and after MCC I plan on going to MSU in Starkville to finish my degree.
To do what? What do you want to do with civil engineering?
I want to become a civil engineer.
Perfect job would be what?
A civil engineer.
No, doing, okay.
Yes, sir. I would like, my father's actually, he's in the field of civil engineering, and I've always looked up to him, and he's always guided me there, and I've always been familiar with it and around the work and everything. Yes, sir.
Now, you're also in our honors program.
Yes, sir. That's right.
What drew you to that?
Honors college has helped me meet a lot of new friends. Also, it looks really good on resume.
It does.
And you know, Miss Rayner and Miss Booth, they're also great teachers, and they also are very good leaders and real good people.
What do you think your experience, or what have you learned here at MCC that you think you can take in your future?
Well, you know, with pandemic and everything, that's helped me fight through adversity and everything, because it's really been a difficult time. And MCC has also helped me kind of get out of my shell a little bit. It's also helped me meet new people, and you know, I've never been on TV before, so that's a new thing today.
Yeah.
And it's really just helped me get out more.
So you graduated. Were you able to graduate?
We had a different kind of graduation. Right? We had a socially distanced graduation at West Lauderdale in June. So
okay. And then you've been here during the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, sir.
It's been interesting.
Yes, sir, that's right.
But you've still been able to learn. You've still been able to go to class. You still maintained your good grades.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you plan, once you finish your civil engineering degree, do you plan to go further?
I think I'm going to just stop at a bachelor's degree because I've also talked to many civil engineers, and they're saying the high percentage of engineers are just bachelor degree, and most of them don't have their master's because there's not much of a difference. But that's right.
Okay. So you and your father, excuse me, any other siblings that might be hopefully coming here, because we want to recruit as many people as we can?
Well, I have a sibling, Mallory. She's a little bit older than me. She actually went to East Mississippi.
Okay.
And she's an occupational therapist.
You know we're going to have to
Tupelo.
cut that. She's an occupational.
She's an occupational therapist in Tupelo now, and she's about to get married in a couple weeks.
Oh,
So,
that's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you'll have one more year here.
Yes, sir.
Will you continue? You'll continue in the honors college.
Right.
And then you plan to head on up to Starkville
Right.
and be done as soon as you can to get out there and become that civil engineer.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yes, sir. I
And thank you
appreciate
for
it.
reading your poem.
Yes, sir.
Well, hopefully we can have you back on maybe at the end, after you finished your 2 years, and see how everything's been.
Yes, sir. It sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
We are here with Miss Ann Howard Hill. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing. Really well today. Amazingly, I don't know. But you are our Culinary Arts Program Coordinator.
That's correct.
And you were here previously.
Yes.
And then you left. You took a job somewhere else, but now you are back forever and a day.
That's right. I'm back home at MCC. Glad
Okay,
to be back.
we're so glad to have you here and to have you back. But now tell me a little bit about your program, the Culinary Arts.
Okay, sure. We're really proud of our program here at MCC. We are a 2-year program with an Associate's Applied Science degree option and a couple of certificates. You can opt out of our program at different stages for a career certificate or a technical certificate, or you can go all the way through and complete the AAS. And we also have a memorandum of understanding with Mississippi University for Women.
Okay.
They have a Bachelor's of Science Culinary Arts program, and our course content can roll directly into their course program for our
Wonderful.
students to continue on and receive a bachelor's.
Wonderful.
The heart and soul of our program is truly the hands-on instruction that the students get in the culinary lab, which some of you may or may not know. We have a brand new facility, and it is amazing, state of the art, it's huge, it's awesome, so I invite people to come by and see it. But our students spend the majority of the time in that kitchen lab, and that's where they learn their skills, they hone those skills, and then they put them into practice during different lab exercises each week.
Now, in addition to learning the hands-on, which is very, very important,
Sure.
but you also teach the business side of it.
That's right, we do. We teach a little bit of everything from culinary math and how to project margins where you can actually make a profit within the business. We teach our students how to successfully create menus and design menus that sell well and are aesthetically pleasing to the customer, as well as super informative, because the menu is the main tool to communicate with your customer.
Of course.
We also teach them how to design and set up a kitchen from scratch. There's a class that we have called Menu Planning and Facilities Design, where the whole class is built around a project where they start with a basic concept and develop it all the way through to the menu, to selecting dishware, to a layout, and selecting equipment for a kitchen. So it gives them a true hands-on experience of what it's like to be an entrepreneur or restaurateur, as we call it in the culinary world, and open their own business.
Well, and that's why I wanted to talk about the business side
Sure.
of it too, because I don't know, I've known a number of people who are like, I can cook, I can open a restaurant, But it's not that simple.
It's not. There are many, many great chefs out there, but not every great chef is a great business person. And it doesn't take much to be good at business, but you just have to learn the basics and know how, and then build upon that through experience. And we teach the basics of that in our program.
Now, you do you only accept new students in the fall?
Well, actually, that has changed because we've moved into our new facility. We are now accepting new students both in the fall and the spring.
Okay, wonderful.
That started this year. This spring, we accepted our first group of students in the spring this year.
And how many students do you typically accept?
Well, we will take a full 15 each fall and each spring.
Oh, wonderful.
And we are looking to grow our program, and as we have a full 15 that come in the fall and in the spring, we'll eventually add another culinary chef instructor who will come in, and we'll be able to take up to 30 at a time.
Oh my.
But it's a process, so we're in the process of boosting and growing our program, so that's really exciting.
That is very exciting. Now, what are the prerequisites to get into the culinary arts program?
So you need a basic ACT score of 15 on the ACT, and then you have to meet with the advisors here on campus, and they enroll you in the program. Like Laureta was saying earlier, we are part of that dual credit or My Best program where you can be dually enrolled and still finish your equivalency and be working on your degree in your AAS in culinary arts. So basically a high school degree or being enrolled in that program and an ACT score.
Has the pandemic changed how you teach some of the, and I'm not talking about where you're teaching Zoom or you're not teaching face-to-face, but some of the things that you're talking to them about like, hey, should this happen again, this is how you can protect your business, this is some of the things you might want to do. Has that changed?
Absolutely. So obviously one of the things that we focus on, just like many of the programs, example marketing here on campus, is our industry is an ever-changing, ever-growing, ever-evolving industry. So with that, we have to be up on culinary trends. And I'll give you an example. One of the things that we've focused on this semester is curbside delivery and takeout. Most of the restaurants that have been able to stay open through the pandemic have really capitalized on that, and even now that dining rooms are opening back up and they're filling back up with in-house guests, they're still doing just as much takeout and curbside. So we've worked with our students on that and several other trends specifically focused on safety and sanitation, how to do more in the restaurant with less staff and all of those things. So that's just an example, but we are always focusing on different trends and curveballs that come with the industry and trying to best prepare our students for when they go into the field.
And I imagine there would be a number of curveballs that you could be you could be thrown. And as we talk about in education in general, I think there are a lot of changes that we've seen due to the pandemic that aren't going away.
That's
right. They're going to be here. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because I think it's forced us to look at what we're doing and adjust.
I like to say different and better. Sometimes you're thrown a curveball and it gives you the opportunity to set a different standard and do things a little bit different, but that also better your business.
So if someone finishes your program and then they decide to take advantage of the agreement that we have with MUW, what is the advantage of getting a bachelor's degree?
Well, a great example is if you wanted to come and teach. I could not teach culinary arts if I did not have a bachelor's degree. So anything in the education field, and there's lots of opportunities for that. Even your bigger companies like Amerimark or your large-scale corporations that do medical facilities and things like that, they're looking for people who have more education. So the bachelor's degree is not necessarily a requirement for that, but it gives you a leg up in the world of, like you were saying, of being looked at when they're just looking at a piece of paper and not meeting with you individually. It gives you more opportunity to get that interview, and then also they just dive into so much more than we have time to do here, because we only have 2 years and a bachelor's degree has 4 years.
So with their 2-year degree here, what kind of doors does that open?
Lots of doors, everything from restaurant managers, catering operations. We have several students from the past who have just completed the AAS program and moved on to be a manager of a kitchen for a medical facility like Anderson's Cafeteria, assisted living, which we have a lot of in Meridian. We see our students go on into those positions. Working in restaurants as a kitchen manager, lots of different things.
Okay, and at decent pay.
Yes, at decent pay. So anything that is somewhat, even if it's an entry-level management position, people are going to start out making at least $35,000 a year and progressing from there. Now with that, it does take hard work, time and dedication, and you have to climb the ropes in the culinary industry. That's one thing that I really try to teach my students is don't expect a big paying job when you leave school, because everybody has to start somewhere.
Sure, sure.
We encourage our students to get a job in the field while they're in school so that they can build their resume, so that they have an opportunity for a higher pay rate when they leave the program. And most of them do that.
Well, I know that one of the questions I always ask is about the pay, because let's face it, that's what you've got to be able to live.
Right, you've got to pay your bills,
yes.
you've got to take care of your family, and you also want to have some sort of a quality of life. So money is what that all boils down to.
You want to do something that you love to do.
Absolutely.
And I always recommended, I tell my students this all the time. It's like, do something that you want to do, but make sure that you're able to pay your bills.
That's
and
right.
have a little left over.
That's right.
I mean, so that you can have.
And building a nest egg, which is so important.
Yes.
For example, right now, the pandemic, it's important to have something put back and saved. So we really try to instill in our students a good work ethic and the ability to see new opportunity and really reach out and grasp it.
Now, do you see are there any other changes or any other things that you would like to see in the coming year? You say maybe that we'll open up and have a few more students and maybe have another instructor, but
Absolutely.
anything else that you might see we could come up with, or that you're going to be doing in the next few years?
Well, we have a student organization. We're part of DECA, which is a nationally recognized student organization. It covers many different fields, but culinary arts and hospitality are one of those. And we're really excited now that the pandemic is changing into a way that things are opening back up, that our students can be more involved with that. It's a huge networking opportunity and gives them great experience.
Oh, I want to have you back on and
Okay.
let's talk about this some more, because
Sure.
it's just such a wonderful program.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
We'll be right back.
With so much uncertainty in our world, we are thankful for the heart and determination of those who have followed their calling in healthcare. They work tirelessly on the front lines every day to make a true difference in our community. At Meridian Community College, we take pride in training these heroes and are grateful for their service in this time of great need. These eagles found their wings at Meridian Community College.
On behalf of our executive producer, Matt Milner, our media consultant, Josh Taylor, and our student producer, Dakaya Dodd, thank you for watching. Hope you learned just a little bit. Be kind to others.